Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 14. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Haribrajikacharya Stotara Sata Sri Srimadaisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Siddha Harivasva Ki Jai Kamsakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shri Vasadi Gora Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopavapinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Navadvip Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Sambhaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai All glory to the Assembly All glory to the Assembly All glory to the Assembly Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 14 Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite Daivi transcendental certainty Esha this gunamayi consisting of the three modes of material nature. Mama, Maya, Maya energy. Duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. Mam, unto me, eva, certainly. Ye, those, prapadyante, surrender. Mayam etam, this illusory energy. Taranti, overcomes. Te, they. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, translation. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of these energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, the original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature, matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Bhadda, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy. Because material energy is ultimately conducted by the Supreme Will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature, due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Veda confirmed this as follows: Mayam tu prakritim vidyam, Mayinam tu maheshwaram. Although Maya, illusion, is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the Supreme Musician, the Personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, Supreme Controller. Another meaning of Guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. Because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna, or his bona fide representative, spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be free from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service to Krishna Devotional service to Krishna, or Krishna consciousness, can help him gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of the illusory energy, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity who is originally beloved of the Lord, beloved Son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. The words Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna, Vishnu, only, and not Brahma or Shiva. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated are now almost on the level of Vishnu. It is not possible for such incarnations of Rajaguna, passion, and Tamaguna, ignorance, to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas confirm this in the phrase Tvameva Viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnu Eva Na Samshaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. Davi Esha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. This is an important verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna repeats essentially the same message, that he is in full control and we are all controlled by him. We cannot become free from the control of the material energy. In fact, we are always under the jurisdiction of the energy of Krishna. When we accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord, when we engage in his service, when we reawaken our eternal relationship with him, which is within us, it is our living right to have an eternal relationship with Krishna, because you are part and parcel. Just like I have an eternal relationship in this life to my material father. I may not like my father, I may leave home, I may disagree with him, but I cannot negate that he is my father. That relationship cannot be broken. In the same way, our eternal relationship with Krishna is unbreakable. It is an eternal fact. So either we are under his spiritual energy, that means within the good graces of Krishna, where we can participate with him, where we can exchange loving activities with him, where we can be dovetailed in his mood. Or we can challenge Krishna, and then we are put under the influence of the external energy. We become separated from Krishna because we cannot challenge Krishna. It is not possible. He is too powerful, and by nature we are subordinate to him. It's the same as a citizen. Either he accepts the government law, then he can take benefit from the government institution, he can go to university, he can start a business, he can be married, he can have a family, he can own property, he can advance in material life and be respected and feel peaceful and feel grateful to the government, and there is a reciprocation of mutual trust. Or he can defy the government, he can become a criminal, he can break the law of the government, and then he's put into prison. Why? Because if he's not put into prison, he will cause a disturbance in society. And if there is a disturbance in society, there cannot be any peace. Similarly, if there is a disturbance in our spiritual life, there cannot be any peace. Without peace, how can one be happy? How can you be happy if you're disturbed? So what does this disturbance in spiritual life means? Disturbance in spiritual life means to be in ignorance. And ignorance means to accept this body as the one and all, although I'm not the body. So many times give the same example. This is my body. I am the owner of the body. I am the proprietor. The body is one principle. I am another principle. The body is not me, and I am not the body. I am the spirit within the body. And the symptom, the characteristic of the spirit is my consciousness. And within this consciousness, within my body, there is another consciousness, the super consciousness, which is Krishna. And because of absorption in our own interest, we have become separated from him. Because, let's face it, We are persons, we have personal traits, personal likes and dislikes. We deal with people on a loving, even way. We don't allow people to infringe on our boundaries, and we don't infringe on other people's boundaries. In that way, we have a healthy relationship. So with Krishna, because we don't want to accept Krishna, because we think we are separate from Krishna, because we think we're as good as Krishna in the sense that we don't accept his instruction, then the relationship is broken. And how long has this been? It's been since the beginning of so many creations. In fact, our condition of life cannot be traced out any more than a person who comes to the hospital with an infectious disease. For example, some years ago we had the COVID scare, and people couldn't trace out where the beginning of this disease came from. They moved heaven and earth. It's from here, it's from there, it's from China, it's from Wuhan, it's from a laboratory, it's from the Russians, but nobody could figure out where the disease came from. But that doesn't mean they didn't take care of people who were diseased. You were practically forced to take an inoculation, you were forced to take the shot, and if you were ill, you had to go to a hospital, put on a respirator. All kinds of preventive measures were in place, even though we could not trace out the beginning. So in the same way, our disconnection with Krishna is beginning when we utilize his property without giving him proper respect for that property, without obtaining his permission. How can I use your property without your permission? How can I have a healthy, loving relationship with you if I usurp your property? It is not possible. So, Bhaktivinoda sung, Anadir Karamafale Pori Bhava Navajala. That because of my Karamafala, that means activities independent of God, I have fallen into this ocean of material life. And it is like an ocean. Practically speaking, we are drowning spiritually at every moment. We cannot even swim in this ocean spiritually. We cannot come to the spiritual surface. Tari bare na dekhi upai, Bhaktivinoda said. After having fallen into this ocean, I don't know how to get out. It's like if I fall off a ship in the middle of the ocean. I may be an expert swimmer, I may stay afloat for some time, but unless somebody picks me up, there is no way that I can become free. If I'm bound hands and foot, I cannot help anybody. Somebody has to be unbound to release me from my bondage. And this is where Krishna himself comes to this material world, and where he sends his representative, and by the mercy of Krishna's representative, qualified spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy, we can have Krishna. There is another beautiful song glorifying personalities like Srila Prabhupada. And one of the verses says, Tomara Ridoya Sada Govinda Vishwa. Your quality, my dear pure devotee, is that in your heart, Lord Govinda, Lord Krishna, is residing, is communicating with you. Govinda kahena mora Vaishnava. And why does he communicate with the Vaishnava? Because Govinda says that the Vaishnava, my devotee, is my life and soul. In the 18th chapter of the Gita, Krishna also says, Yaidam paramam guyam madbhakteshu vidashu. That person who describes me, who brings me to this, who preaches about me, who brings me to the devotees. Bhakti Mai Param Kritva. He will always be connected with me in devotion. Same Yukta Kamo Mataha. That is my opinion. Nacha Tasman Manushechu Kashin Man Veti Kriya. And there is no one in this world is more dear to me than one who preaches my glory, one who brings me to others. Pure devotees, they don't want anything from Krishna. They don't want money, not dhanam. They don't want followers, not janam. They don't want thousands of disciples. They don't even want to be guru. In fact, Bhakti Vinod has sung that Guru Abhimana Tyaji, to give up the desire to be guru. That is one of the qualities of a Vaishnava. So, pure Vaishnava doesn't want money, doesn't want followers. Nasundarim doesn't want a beautiful woman, or if she's a Vaishnavi, she doesn't want a handsome man. Kavitamva, he doesn't want to be expert in speaking about spirituality. He doesn't want to know book and chapter of the Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas, Upanishads. No, he just needs to know what is the business of life. It doesn't matter how much knowledge I have. The main the crunch of the matter is that we know that we are eternally connected with Krishna. We are separated. We are suffering in the material world. Anadi, karama phale. We don't even trace back. We cannot trace back how long we've been here. So, in this verse, Krishna says, Daivi iesha gunamai, that the forces that shape the material universe, everything is conducted according to some force. Just like if you go to the prison house, the guards guarding you, keeping you locked up, are human beings just like you are. You could overcome them, but no, you cannot. They have the power of the government. The law of the government dictates the conditions of the prison house. You cannot overcome those laws. You can only get out of the prison when those laws are released, when they release you. It's not up to you, it's up to the government. In the same way, Daivi Esha Gunamai, Krishna says in this verse, that the gunas or the forces that control the material world are spiritual. Mama Maya, because they're coming from me. And Dura Adyaya. Yaya means to overcome. And Dura means very difficult. It's very difficult to overcome. But Daivi, he, this word he is translated as but it actually means certainly. It means exceptionally. But mameva ye prapadyante, one who surrenders unto me, mayame tam tarantite, can overcome this illusory energy. Otherwise, asha pasha sata sata klesha de abhirat. Every day I'm bound up by hundreds and hundreds of material desires. So how to overcome these desires? By using them in the service of Krishna. For example, I'm living here in Vrindavan. I have a small place, I'm alone, and I have to eat every day, but I'm not eating alone. I'm thinking of Krishna. All right, I'm not such a pure devotee that I can purely cook and prepare food for Krishna without thinking that I'm not going to eat it. But Krishna understands. But every day I cook. And after I cook, I offer it to Krishna. So, cooking has to go on, but I'm cooking for Krishna. And then that kind of cooking is called yajna, or sacrifice, where you don't do anything separated from Krishna. Yajna means that you put Krishna in the middle of everything you do. Yajna shishta shinai shanto, one who is shanto, one who is peaceful, one who is a devotee, he only eats food which is offered to Krishna. Yajna shishta, shishta means remnant, and yajna means sacrifice. Yajna vai Vishnu, sacrifice means Vishnu. So yajna shishta shinai shanto muchyante sarvakir vishahi, because we recognize that the food is coming from Krishna, and we offer it to him, and we take it as prasadam, we become free from all kinds of sinful activities. And those who don't, ye pashanti atmakarana, those who simply cook for their own satisfaction, they are eating only sin. Bhunjate te tu agam papam. Why is that? Because we are stealing from Krishna. It's so simple. You don't have to know any very big knowledge. You don't have to be an expert speaker. Simple. Everything belongs to God. If we take something without offering it to Him, then we become criminals. We break the law. Everything we do has to be in connection with Krishna because it is Krishna's property. It is Krishna's business. It is Krishna's house. So, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions many things. One of the things he mentions is that no one can give you liberation except Krishna. Many non-Vaishnavas, religionists, other people in religion, they object, why Krishna? And our reply is, why not Krishna? Krishna is not different from Allah. Allah means the greatest, so Krishna is the greatest. He's not different from Jehovah. Jehovah means the father of everyone. Krishna is the father of everyone. He's not different from Buddha. Buddha means one who is complete in knowledge. Krishna is complete in knowledge. In fact, Krishna is complete in 6 qualities, in 6 fortunate opulences. Aishvaryasya samagasya. Aishwarya, wealth. He has all the wealth. No one is richer than Krishna. Samagrasya, in full. Because he claims, Sarva Loka Maheshwara, I am the controller and owner of all the universes. Now here we may have a rich man who has so many billions, who controls so many millions of acres of land. He may control a whole country, a whole continent, but nobody can say I control the whole universe or other universes. But Krishna says it. What is he, a fool? People have been reading Bhagavad Gita for 5,000 years, and Krishna is claiming Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I am the controller and owner of all the universes, and people accept it? People don't object? Of course not, because that is God. God means one who controls and owns everything. God means unlimited, and no one is equal or greater than him. So, Krishna is Viryasya, he has all the strength. The other day I was speaking with a godbrother, and I mentioned that, just see, Krishna came to Mathura. Krishna and Balaram, 2 coward boys from a village, and they challenged the emperor of the state, Kamsa. Kamsa was so powerful. Indra, the demigod Indra, was afraid to fight against him. He was controlling so many huge demons like Putana, Agasura, Bakasura. These are all friends of Kamsa. Yet Krishna came to Mathura single-handedly without a weapon, and he killed him. Who can do that? It's comparable of someone, some unknown person going to the most powerful politicians in the world and challenging him. You cannot even get near. So you try, go to Washington, see how close to the president you can go. Yes, guards, they have protocol. But Krishna single-handedly came to Mathura and killed Kamsa with his bare hands. That's Krishna. That's called Viryasya. Yashasha is the most famous. As I said, thousands of years we've been studying his books. Thousands of years we've been reading Bhagavad Gita, and it is ever fresh. Again, the more and more you read it. Shriya is the most beautiful. I was speaking yesterday. Krishna's beauty is like waves of the ocean, washing over you. Jnana, knowledge, and detachment. Krishna is detached. People think, oh, Krishna is a womanizer. He danced with young girls in the forest. But actually, he did it to bless them. The gopis, they wanted to dance with Krishna. They found Krishna so attractive, they wanted to be with him. That is a devotee's quality, that I'm thinking that Krishna is so beautiful. How can I see him? How can I be with him? So the gopis, not only how can I be with Krishna, how can Krishna be my whole life? How can Krishna be my husband? For a young girl, the husband is everything, especially in India. So the gopis, they wanted Krishna to satisfy that desire. Krishna danced with them. He didn't need to or want to. He did it to satisfy. It is a reciprocation of love. Nothing to do with lust. apart from the fact that when the Rasa dance took place, Krishna was 8 years old. The gopis are all young girls. There was no question of sex. Anyhow, that's another story. Thank you very much. I hope this transmission worked okay. The internet looks good today. We have some comments from Nandi Priya from England. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us. Ekanatha D. Dasi. Hare Krishna. John Garrett. Hare Krishna Prabhu. And Vishnivamsa. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Dandavat. So, Dandavats to you all. And it is now 11 o'clock here. I'm going to get up at 3:30. So, thank you very much. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Hari Bol.